Hi, and welcome to Deep Dive with Jamie Stein, where we take a deep dive look at all things reality TV, pop culture, and the world at large. I'm an intuitive and an empath, which means I pick up on the thoughts, feelings, and energy percolating in other people and the world around me. I believe there is meaning waiting to be found at every turn if you're willing to see it. So join me as we dismantle everything from trash TV to high spiritual concepts and learn more about ourselves, each other, and how we're all connected. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Deep Dive with Jamie Stein. Oh, all right. Scamanda rages on, and the people have spoken. I heard from a number of you wanting me to flip the script and drop into West Wilson towards Amanda and get some possible intuitive information from his side of the street. So, having said that, I'm just going to drop in to West Wilson towards Amanda. I want to say, I'm always a little hesitant to drop into West. Some people I'm just more hesitant to drop into than others. He just feels really complicated to me. I mean, even as I'm saying this, I'm already feeling feelings. I think there is so much going on inside this guy. So many different warring voices and feelings and aspects of his identity. So I think there's just part of me that just kind of wants to stay away. Look, some people are it's just more work than others. And, in the place where I always feel like everything that happens in an episode about a particular Bravo celebrity or TV personality in some way represents the field, the energetic field and psyche of that person. I have to imagine this is already information about West, that he's a guy who has some relationship to a feeling of overwhelm, and that it's perhaps even exhausting to be him. All right. So having said that, the reading has begun. I'm going to formally drop in. And just as always, I'm just going to say, playful exploration based on edited TV shows. He's obviously not here. I do not know him personally. And as always, these are just a couple threads, you guys, if I'm right about what's coming through. And the truth is always multifaceted, multidimensional. There's always more to be revealed. So we're just kind of dropping in for a moment and just seeing what initial threads happen to come through me today. And then as always, we're just using that to reflect for ourselves, how this might relate to us, where this takes us inside of ourselves. What is the archetypal mirror that West Wilson is embodying for us, whether he's consciously aware of it or not? All right. So having said that, I'm going to drop in to West Wilson towards Amanda Batula. I mean, it is funny. Like, I will say, the second I do it, it is like I don't want to stay in my body as West. And it's just, I don't want to look right at her. It is this feeling of, I don't want to know it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know it. Oh, and then it's like, I don't want to fucking know it. Like, meaning in this case, Wes not wanting to take Amanda fully in right here. It feels to me like the part of Wes that's basically saying, I don't want to, God, even saying these words, I start to have feelings. I don't want to know myself on a deeper level. Ooh, yeah. Like I cannot express to you how true that feels in my body for West. I do not want to know myself on a deeper level. And it's like the words I'm hearing are, I'm running scared. Like I'm running scared. And like I just said before, it's like I can barely sit still in my body. I'm on the run. Catch me if you can, is what I'm hearing. It reminds me of that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where like, and I think this is interesting that this movie is coming up. He's like a con artist, a chameleon. He sort of shape shifts between different identities. Catch me if you can. That's sort of what I'm feeling from West here. It's like, catch me if you fucking can. And by the way, you're never going to be able to catch me. I'm on the run. I'm on the loose. I'm on the move. I will do anything but know myself on a deeper level. And I want to say it feels scared. Like he feels scared to know himself on a deeper level. Yeah, it's just like every time I start to sit with again, I feel like like one of those jumping beans. Like I can't sit still, won't sit still, can't sit still. Like it feels, I almost want to say like life or death frightening to sit still. And then if I hang out with it a little bit longer, there's also a ton of rage here. Like the rage, the way I'm feeling the rage is in the protest. Like I won't fucking sit still. I won't fucking, like take Amanda in on a deeper level, AKA I won't let myself get in deeper connection with myself. I don't want to know more about myself. I won't do it. And then what I'm really hearing is I won't give you the opportunity to use this against me. So that's interesting. So it feels like as West, just in terms of big picture from the outset, some experience of feeling like aspects of myself, of my feelings, of my identity were used against me somehow, used as ammunition against me somehow, like early in life, twisted and turned and used against me. And I'm not setting myself up for that again. I'm furious about it. And yeah, like now it's like, catch me if you can. Not setting myself up for that again. Not setting myself up for that again. I'm on the run, I'm on the loose, and I'm just going to shift identities and use people and just stay on the run as much as I can. I'd be so curious to know him on a personal level, like if he has kind of a manic energy to him, if he's someone where it's hard to sit still, if it's hard for him to be still with himself, if he's got kind of a relationship to addict energy. Because the other thing that I'm feeling through all of this as I talk it through is just a tremendous amount of sadness too. I mean, it just feels like there's so much grief here. So much grief here. Again, I like the only way I can explain this, it's like when I feel the rage and I feel the fear and I feel the grief and I feel the absolute refusal to sit still and know myself on a deeper level, it just feels like a cyclone inside me. Like a fucking cyclone. Yeah, a restless fucking cyclone that will never sit still and is terrified to sit still and refuses to sit still. So before I just kind of get back in a relationship with Amanda, what I just want to say big picture is, big picture, this is a guy who is deeply afraid to know himself on a deeper level. And I think really unconscious about his motives, unconscious about what he's doing. It just feels like I'm here, I'm there. No, I'm here, I'm there. It's like, it reminds me of those people a little bit who have like, those guys who will like have a double life. Like a guy will have two families and two wives and two sets of kids. And it's like this secret double life. And it's almost kind of just like this compulsion for these different fragments of identity. I'm not saying it's that extreme with Wes, but it just feels so unconscious to me. Like this guy doesn't understand what he's doing. He's just on the run, and just doing everything to avoid himself and to get his needs met somehow. Okay. So having said all that, let me drop back into Wes towards Amanda. I'm just going to coax him. I'm going to coax the cyclone to settle down a little and to look at Amanda. Guys, I really have to tell you, it's crazy how much fear there is to drop into this. And the fear is in my heart. It's like my heart is fucking quivering. I guess if I'm going to show up to this one step at a time and not rush through it, there is this part of me that just feels like given the level of fear, that I really do have to slow this down for a second and not bypass the fear. Yeah, again, it's just when I slow down to look at Amanda and take her in, and then I feel the depth of this fear in my heart. It is just this voice of rage that is screaming, I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't fucking do it. You can't make me. This is survival. Yeah, this is fucking survival, and I'm furious. So this is what I'm saying. This just goes back to what I was saying earlier. This feels like life or death for him. There is something about the stillness of dropping into himself more deeply and the way that this could be used against him that feels life or death to West's psyche. And he refuses to do it. And then what I'm really hearing, and this makes sense in terms of the show, I'm playing to win. I'm playing to win. So that feels really important because there is this really competitive aspect to him. Okay. So you see that play out in his relationship with Jesse, and then you saw them kind of using Sierra as a pawn in their competition. And then what I'm already hearing is there's an aspect of competition even with Amanda, like in the sense of like winning out over Kyle. And I feel like we kind of saw that on the show, even like the way that he was sort of self-righteously positioning himself as like Amanda's savior. It felt to me when I was watching the show, there was like this real like contempt for Kyle. Like it didn't feel clean watching the show. It felt like, he was puffing up his chest and stepping in as like the knight in shining armor. And I'm going to be the man who steps in and does the right thing on behalf of Amanda. But it felt like competitive with Kyle, like comparing himself as above Kyle and being the guy who steps in. And so I'm just saying all this because I do always feel this sense of competition in West. Like I'm playing to win. And that feels here. Even like, it's so funny because it's like, even like last season, when he was working so hard to get back in with Sierra's good graces. This is so interesting. He was working so hard to get back into Sierra's good graces, right? And he was doing all the right things, like being so sensitive to her, giving her all this room and space, not hooking up in the house out of respect for her. And it's interesting because, I think I've spoken on this podcast. I think I was one of the few people who didn't love West this first season. Mostly because it felt clear to me he wasn't serious about having a serious relationship with Sierra. And I felt like she was being super clear with him about what she was looking for. And he wouldn't come clean or straight and give her a clear answer. I mean, I didn't understand why she wasn't clocking that. I also didn't understand why the viewing public wasn't clocking it because it was so clear to me that Sierra was saying, I want someone who's serious about serious relationship. And it was so clear to me that West would never give her a clear answer that matched. It felt like he hemmed, he hawed, he hovered around it. And I was like, this guy isn't matching her conviction. And in fact, he's sort of doing the opposite of what she's asking for. And it bothered me. I felt his energetic murkiness, and I felt him not being direct with her and tagging her. What's the expression? Tagging her along? Dragging her along? I don't know what the right expression is, but I felt him kind of fucking with her in a way. And then I was so triggered because I didn't understand why everyone else wasn't seeing this, and everyone was putting him on this pedestal. And I was like, what is up with this? Like, what is up with this guy? Like, he is not what everyone thinks he is. But I say all this because then last season, he was so vilified by everyone and he was so demonized by everyone. And then I watched him. One, he seemed so rattled by it. He seemed so scared That's how he felt to me last season, like so scared to do or say the wrong thing or make the wrong move. Now I'm saying that for a reason. I'm gonna come back to that in a moment. So he seemed so rattled by what had happened in the way in which he got kind of called out for the games that he played. And then he was being so extra careful to do the exact right thing in terms of Sierra. And in spite of myself, I started feeling a little bit bad for him last season. I was like, it's not his fault the world put him on a pedestal and then got mad at him when he didn't live up to the expectations that they set for him, and now everyone's like demonizing him. And I just kind of felt like what felt to me like a bit of almost like a trauma response to what was going on. But then this season I've been so confused because he's obviously felt a little safer and a little more secure, and Sierra's been welcoming him back in. And then he started playing this weird game, like I mentioned, with Jesse for Sierra's affections and trying to win Sierra back over. And I'm right now, I'm cocking my head like a confused dog, like when a dog gets confused, like I'm just cocking my head to the side. Like I've been watching him this season, like not knowing quite what to make of him. Cause I was like, to me, my old experience of West is here. It feels like he's playing some sort of game, but I can't quite clock it. And what's coming to me now as I'm saying all of this is almost like I do think the fear was real that I was sensing in him. And that's what I'm connecting it to what's come through so far in this episode. That if I'm right about there being kind of a life or death fear connected to this experience of somehow being more deeply connected to his true self, like the West behind the mask, then it makes sense that last season there was an experience of his real fear. That like the fear I was feeling was an aspect of West's true core life or death fear. And that was part of kind of what was touching me a little bit, like feeling that deeper vulnerability. I mean, I think we were just getting the surface of it. Again, I think it was getting manufactured through his survival strategy, which I'm going to get to in a second. But I think the fear was real. I think the trauma was real. Like I said, he seemed rattled to me last season. So I think we were getting aspects of the real fear in him. But I think now what I'm sensing, like when I think this season about how he's been trying to get back in good with Sierra, it's almost like his competition has been playing a long game. Like I almost feel like what we were watching last season and this season wasn't even so much that he cared about actually doing right by Sierra. It's almost like, again, I'm just hearing the words, I wanted to win. I wanted to win. Like the mask got pulled off. I got demonized by the world. Paige, at the reunion is standing in for whatever woman or person kind of like chewed me out, used my true self against me. I want to win. I want to come back up and conquer. I want to rise from the ashes. I want the last word. I want the last laugh. I'm going to get back in good with Sierra. I'm going to get back in good with the viewers. I'm going to do all the right things. I am coming back from this and I am going to fucking win. That's what it feels like to me. It's all going to be hidden behind the nice guy mask, the emotionally intelligent, sensitive nice guy mask. No one's going to know that's the long game I'm playing. But I'm going to win. That's what I feel from Wes. It's like I get a secret satisfaction out of coming back from this. I got knocked down. Guess what? I'm coming the fuck back up. The fear in the competition. Playing to win. Being on the move, catch me if you can. This is how he outruns the fear. And it's also a vehicle for the rage. That rage, that core rage that he's never been allowed to express, the fury over whatever early experience this was of his identity being turned against him. Yeah, I'll be whatever the fuck you want me to be, but guess what? I'm going to win. That's what it feels like to me. I'll play whatever part you want me to play. You're going to reject my true self. You're going to reject my core self. All right, I'll be the nice guy. I'll be the good son. I'll be the good boy, the good student, the good friend. I'll do it. But guess what? I'm going to play to win and I'm going to get what I want. That's my fuck you. That's my anger. Catch me if you fucking can. Ooh. Ooh. Now this kind of feels good. I don't know. It feels like something's clearing just by naming all this. So yeah. This is what I'm saying. He's complex. He's a competitive guy who's out to win, whose primary vehicle is playing the part of the nice guy. Whoever that is in the moment, whoever you want me to fucking be, I'll be him, but I'm winning. This is how I outrun the fear. And this is also a vehicle for my rage. I'll fuck you over before you can fuck me over. I'm playing to win and no one's going to fucking know. It's the secret world he has. The secret world feels fun. I mean, his relationship to secrecy. I mean, there's something. I mean, look, this is why we like him, right? He's a fun guy. You know, he's fun at parties. He has great costumes. He's funny. Like, he's fun. There's something fun about Wes. He's got this fun secret world. But right now it's being used for the forces of bad rather than the forces of good. Okay, this was kind of cool. Okay, I feel ready now to drop in on a deeper level, Wes towards Amanda. All right, Wes Wilson towards Amanda. I mean, I want to say, so there's a couple things coming to me. So first of all, I just want to say, I mean, she turns me on. Like, I'm so fucking turned on. Like, and this is sort of playing out on multiple levels. And it's actually interesting because it's sort of energetically similar to what I explored with Amanda towards West. So when I'm seeing Amanda as West, I'm seeing her actually as like a silhouette. And I'm seeing the outline of her body and it's like curvaceous, you know, hourglass figure, seeing her round breasts, her round hips, her hair, and just seeing her as, this super sexy kind of dark feminine goddess. Again, she's silhouetted. So I just, let me, Woo! It's like, it's alive. I said this in the Amanda thing. I feel like they're having really hot sex. I'm sorry if that grosses people out, but I feel like they are super attracted to each other. So yes, super turned on as West. And when I say like the silhouette in the darkness, temptation, forbidden fruit. There is an aspect of I want what I can't have. That feels, oh boy. That feels very exciting to me as West. And what's sort of coming to me is, again, if I'm kind of right about the energetic imprint of Wes learning early on, somehow I'm not allowed to be myself, my true self. My aspects of my true self are going to be turned against me. So I have to be the good boy, the good son, the good student, the good friend. It's sort of like wanting what I can't have and breaking the rules gets me so fucking hard. It's just, it turns me on. I get such a fucking thrill off of it. And again, it does feel like a fuck you, to the world, to the powers that be. I love being naughty. I love breaking the rules. I love getting what I can't have. It turns me on so much more than like a clean, clear attraction. I'm almost kind of feeling like a clean, clear attraction's boring. It's just boring. It's just goody two shoes. It's self-betrayal. So I love that I can't have her, and yet I am getting her. And Kyle is here as West. I mean, Kyle just feels like a doofus. He just feels like a square, like a normie, an oblivious normie. Like, I'm so much more like, is it powerful? I'm so much more powerful than Kyle. Yeah, he's just like, he's the cuck. He's the cuck. And I'm the bull. And you didn't see me fucking coming. Again, there's something that I think that Wes loves about You Never Saw Me Coming. No pun intended. That feels like part of the thrill of the game for him. Like, you never fucking saw me coming. Like, you're all underestimating me. You think I'm just this good little sweet little boy. You don't know what's going on under the surface. And especially I think for someone like Kyle, who's like king of the castle in the summer house world, it's like, oh, you think you're the king of the castle. You think you're the king of the castle. Well, I'm actually like the jester on the side who no one's taking seriously. And I've got all the fucking power behind the scenes. Okay, so let me come back to Amanda. There's also kind of like, there's something here about him having the power to pull her into the dark side. Like, he's kind of initiating her into the darkness, but also kind of like a meeting of the minds. Like, they feel like they understand something about each other. Because again, Amanda has her own relationship to being a good girl. Like, a lot of people talk about this. I've talked about this. She, she, in my opinion, has kind of always over-identified with like the little girl in her. She doesn't lead with her adult maturity, her powerful womanhood. She leads with the little girl. She's been a good girl. She tends to, if I'm just sort of being blunt and direct, she can get really whiny, mopey. She disowns, I think, a lot of her strong, powerful energy. And so it's interesting. I think they both have a relationship to being good girls and good boys. And then there's something they understand about kind of the inner, the inner darkness. In her case, the inner diva. In his case, the inner, like magician, con artist, shapeshifter. Yeah, it does. It just feels like there's a little bit of like a Bonnie and Clyde feeling to them. Like they're sort of on the rush of being outlaws together, doing something naughty, and even the notoriety. The notoriety feels good to me for them, even though, a lot of people are talking about it. It's like, this was so stupid, especially for Amanda. Like, this is a thing, you guys. So this is what I really want to say. It's like, a lot of people are saying she was on the cusp of having it all. Like, she was the sympathetic one in the divorce. People were rooting for her. She was going to get all these opportunities. And she just, what's the word? Like, nosedived it. Like, I don't know. She just fucked it all up, basically. But it's sort of like what just came to me, you guys. If I'm right about this, like, I think what you've got to understand is, on some level, West and Amanda, and people like West and Amanda, they resent the good guy, good girl image. And they resent, on some level, the gifts that come from it. Even though, we're talking about the unconscious, right? Because obviously you could say, well, that doesn't make any sense. Then why do they pretend to be the good girl and the good boy? Well, because that's their survival strategy. They learned somewhere along the way, it is not safe for me to have all my powerful energy. So I've got to play the good girl, the good boy to survive. But then part of them's furious about that. And part of them resents the life that they create as a result of that. So to me, it kind of makes perfect sense that maybe both of them would blow this up. And that something about the notoriety actually feels really good to them. Now, again, do I expect them to ever consciously own this? No. Do I expect them to consciously acknowledge it to themselves? Probably not. Maybe West a little bit more. But again, West just feels so all over the place and unconscious of his own motives. He's here and then he's there. That's the other thing I want to say about West. I think that he's deeply resented the bind he's been in for the last 2 years. So going back to what I was saying about him navigating the show, the world of the show, in the wake of his mask slipping and being called out for his behavior, I think it absolutely rattled him. I think he never saw that coming, by the way, because I think Wes has gotten away with this his entire life. It kind of reminds me of what I talked about with Bronwyn a few years ago at Salt Lake City. I think some of these people who are chameleons, they're so good at what they do, because I think Bronwyn's great at what she does. I think Wes is great at what he does. They're used to getting away with it because they don't normally have a camera on them. And the camera, in the words of Kyle Richards, it doesn't lie? The fucking camera, right? The cameras don't lie. And I think that's part of what's kind of amazing about these shows, is that it really, in a way, invites these people. I think it invites everyone who's on these shows to like take a look at themselves. But in particular, like, it invites these people to like really stop dead in their tracks and maybe take stock about what they're doing and why. But yeah, I think West is not I think West can weasel his way out of anything. And I think he's a smooth talker. I think he's gotten away with this his entire life. And so I think last year when the mask slipped and he got called out, I think it absolutely rattled him. And I think it absolutely enraged him. Again, there it is again. The fear and the rage go hand in hand. The fear and the rage go hand in hand. Some learned experience of being seen for who I am is a matter of life or death. So I'm terrified, but I'm also furious about it. Which, you know, that's how it goes, guys. I mean, almost always terror and rage go hand in hand because there's a reason why you're terrified, right? So if you're someone who identifies a lot with fear, you bet your bottom dollar somewhere in there is a ton of rage. Rage over whatever it was that caused you to be scared in the first place. So I think that West was terrified and rattled, and I think that he's been deeply resentful of the part he's had to play for the last 2 years. And so the reason why I'm saying this is that kind of feels here too. Like this just feels like a fuck you to everyone involved. Like a fuck you to Kyle, a fuck you to Sierra, a fuck you in some ways to Jesse. Like, because I think there's always a weird competition between them about like something about like who has the spotlight, who's relevant, who's fan favorites, who gets the girl. Again, it's just it is this voice. It's like, oh, you all thought I was just this like dumb little pushover who was like begging for scraps and doing what he was told. Look what the fuck I can do. And again, I think because there's such a lack of consciousness about what he's doing, or even like he feels just so impulsive to me. Again, it's like he's just going to show up to what's here in front of him. So it's like, I don't know. He just feels like, again, that catch me if you can con artist who it's like, all he's looking at is the next score. You know, it's like, I don't know that he really thinks through the long game of like, well, wait a second, this might blow things up to an irreparable place that like jeopardizes my spot on the show. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that he thinks these things through. I think he's about immediate gratification. I feel like there's like a metaphorical character here. You know, it's like the villain who's been like doing something in secret, but it's like they just finally want the world to know this is how fucking powerful I am. This is what I've been doing the whole time. You thought I was one thing, but actually I'm another. Ha 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 ha. Again, I just hear the words forbidden fruit, temptation. You know, I'm smiling as I say it. Like I said, she's the forbidden fruit. I want what I can't have. I like breaking the rules. I like being naughty. I'm sick of playing second fiddle to Summer House. I want to be bad. You know, Amanda wanted to make a mistake. Wes wanted to be bad. I win. I win. All right, you guys. You know, honestly, I'm sure there's more here, but hopefully this satisfied your appetite for more Scamanda content. And I think just as far as sort of looking at this in terms of like a deeper narrative that's sort of emerging, you know, I think the main theme here is kind of like the drama that occurs when a bull is masquerading as a cuck. Because that's what's interesting, right? In West's mind, Kyle's the cuck. Like, that's what's so interesting about the two of them. They're like inversions of each other, right? It's like Kyle is the alpha in Summer House externally. West has been playing the cuck externally. But underneath it, West has been the secret bull, turning Kyle into a secret cuck. And whereas Kyle Kyle has his own relationship to rage and darkness, but there's also something just so... There's such like a brightness to him as well. Like there's such a like, I don't know quite what the language is, but there's such like a bright quality to his love. Whereas West feels like and like a kind of like a directness to Kyle and a straight shooter to Kyle, you know. Whereas West feels but then also kind of like a bull in a china shop where he's like emotionally not aloof, but like emotionally just so clumsy. Like he's not emotionally attuned. West, on the other hand, totally emotionally attuned, totally sensitive, emotionally intelligent, checks in with KJ, sensitive to the nuances of what Sierra needs, so fucking emotionally attuned, outwardly playing the cuck, the second fiddle, but secretly so much happening underneath the surface. Such a deep relationship to secret agenda, secrets, and secrecy, his secret little world. Secretly making a secret play for the throne. So that's interesting. I mean, it is just so interesting. West and Kyle, like, that's an interesting. They are I'm getting chills saying this. They are shadow aspects of each other. That would be really interesting to explore on a deeper level. God, do I have any listeners who are like experts in like royal archetype? I don't know. I'm just suddenly seeing the summer house as like an allegory for the court, the royal court, and I'm just so curious, or like a chessboard. I'm so curious about the role each one would play. Because Kyle's kind of been like the oblivious king, and Wes has been like the like duplicitous secretive court jester. And Amanda, I don't know. This is for another episode. All right, you guys. Thanks for bearing with me. More to come. You know, hopefully I'll have a chance to explore more Scamanda. There's so much here. I would really love to get into whatever was going on between Jesse and West earlier in the season in relationship to Sierra, because that whole thing was so fucking weird. So much reality TV content to be exploring. So, you know, as always, let me know what you want to hear about. Let me know if you want to hear more of this. As always, follow me on Instagram, Jamie Stein, JamiEStein. And if you're curious about my work, head on over to HollywoodReadings.com and send me an email. And until then, I will see you on the flip side. Bye.